Hi, it's Jesse. I'm back again, and I've been explaining iniquity lately. And iniquity is a violation of the right or duty that man is under obligation to do. And the question that I want to address here is who sets their rights and duties? Who says what they're obligated to do? Now, there's two systems by which we can work from, as a nation. We can work from law, or we can work from mob justice. And in this video, I want to focus on mob justice, because mob justice is actually a dangerous thing. In mob justice, we gather support by winning over people's opinions. And in case we don't understand, it's very dangerous to be ruled by your opinions, because what you think today may be different tomorrow. What you think is right today may change entirely tomorrow. It what we think is affected by our experiences. What we think is affected by the conversation going on around us. What do we think is affected by our actions? What are we willing to do? What do we think? It's an opinion. Opinions, everybody's got opinions, and people are entitled to their own opinions, but it's what you do with them that matters, and it's like you can cause a lot of division if you can get people ruled by their opinions, right? You can tear down a nation if you get people in enough disagreement. You can tear that thing apart. It's mob justice it's a dangerous thing. I don't think that you understand this, okay? It's lawless. Lawless because people rule by their opinions. It's lawless because you don't consider the rights of others. You want your voice to be heard and nobody else's voice matters. It's heartless because it's like you want everybody to jump on your bandwagon, and anybody who's not with you must be against you and must be attacked or suppressed. It's dangerous. It's completely dangerous. So what's the counter for mob justice, Nations, they're not preserved by mob justice, right? Nations are preserved by the laws that they keep, whether you like it or not, whether you understand it or not. Laws preserve nations, evil people, they like to not pay any attention to the laws. They like to give people permission to do bad in order to garnish their support. Evil is very expensive. When you do evil, you bankrupt a nation, because when you try to suppress anybody who is not on your side, when you attack anybody who's not on your side, you forget that you think that who you are is preserved by suppressing everybody else. And you forget to maintain who you are. You forget to take care of your business. And so in your nation, when it's ruled by evil men, your infrastructure is crumbling. The people are hungry. The poor are being devoured. And they defend themselves by pointing fingers at someone else by saying, oh, look, they're more impoverished than you are. They're starving to death. But you do understand that you're only 2 steps behind them, with the way that you're going. You're being just as exploited as the people that are being starved and exploited for their resources. You're being just as exploited, but you're being suppressed because you're looking at someone else with this comparison, with them ruling through your logic, by them ruling over your opinion, and you're going, oh, I guess you're right, it's not that bad for me. But you're not understanding that you're allowing this evil nation to rule that distracts you in this way. You're allowing people to rule over your opinions, and it's wrong. It's wrong because there's nobody that can come and make things better for you. There's nobody that can save you, because if anybody came up with an opinion that was different from theirs, If anybody came up that looked a little different, dressed a little different, had different ideas, if anybody came up, they would cut them down, for one, and for two, they'd steal their ideas and try to see how that they could twist it and use it for their own benefit. You would never know, because in an evil nation, and I'm not saying that America is entirely evil, it's just you're really gullible at this point and you're allowing yourself to be ruled by the wrong concepts, mob justice. Are you kidding me? This is why they take your eyes off, Your opinion can be swayed. Your opinions can be manipulated. Your opinions can be changed, Opinions should not be what rules you. No, 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 no. You have to be ruled by your convictions about what you know to be right, what you know to be wrong. And how do you have unity within diversity is the challenge. But it's some things, to maintain it, some things have to die. Some things have to live, There has to be some degree of suffering. There has to be some degree of adversity. Not everybody is going to be on the same page with their opinion, and it's okay, so long as they're on the same page with the law that says, we are all born with these rights, The man has a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, And what that means for each individual person can be different. It's why they use such language. It can be different, but your respect for their rights must remain the same. You cannot have your freedom if you don't allow someone else to have theirs. And that doesn't mean that you must serve the other side, because you're entitled. Do you understand? You're entitled to your opinions. My morning coffee is Pepsi. I don't like coffee. I don't drink it ever. Just saying. Little shameless plug there. But you have to allow people to have their own opinions. You must not allow yourself to be ruled by opinions, no matter how important you think those opinions are. We are not the first nation in the first time to have issues with homosexuality in our midst. However, you know what? Not even however there. We're also not the first nation to change the laws in respect to homosexuality. We're not. Other nations have done this, and I think it's real important to understand, because other nations have done this, and then they have reached their downfall. And the thing that you really got to understand is that evil nations give people permission to go outside the law. They puff up people with entitlement so that they can rule over them and strip them of their wealth, but they think they got it made because they're being entitled. They're being allowed to do what they want with their bodies. They're being allowed to do what they want with their neighbors' bodies. You get puffed up with so much entitlement regarding sexuality, and you got people beating down people's doors for sex, You got people raping people for sex, and nobody is free. If they see someone that's not like them, they attack. Like the men in Lot's days, they beat down the door and said, "Let us have sex with the angels." So we got to be real careful of where we allow entitlements to come in. We got to be real careful of how our opinions are swayed, because it's likely to have a domino effect and kick off other things in society. And without your understanding, you're fighting for your rights here, but you're not really fighting for your rights. You're fighting for the right to have everyone endorse you. And that's wrong. That's wrong. Not everyone has to endorse you, no matter what your position is. Not everyone has to endorse you. You don't need people's permission to be who you are. You don't. It'd be nice if everybody liked me, but sometimes you have have to have the courage to be disliked, to be yourself. It is very dangerous to rule by opinions. And for anyone who has dissent for what the Supreme Court said, you have to understand this first. The argument is a moot point, okay? It's a moot point because I'm not going to change who you are. I'm not going to change your preferences. I don't have a problem with who you are. I wouldn't discriminate against you. I don't care who you are, but I respect someone's right to not participate in the things that you do. I respect their right, and that's a difference. It's respecting someone else's right is what preserves democracy. It's what keeps the law intact. I'm not saying you can't be gay, but I'm saying that you can't force someone to approve your decisions. Those are your personal choices. You have to be responsible for them. If you want to be that way, you got to have the courage to be disliked. And it's all there is to it. I'm up here speaking, and I have to have the courage to be disliked in everything that I say. I have to have the courage to be misunderstood, because a lot of people don't understand what I say. Like I said, evil nations will take the words of somebody, twist them, kill them, make their words their own, lay out their plan for the nation on how to make things better, and that person sitting there, hi, that's me, won't get any credit for anything, and that's just the way that it goes. But I'm not concerned with credit because I don't really care. Look at me. I am tore up from the floor up. I am tired. Some days I find it difficult to speak. I find it difficult to put everything in order. I don't care what you think. Let's fix the world. I don't care what you think about me. My choices are my own. I have to be responsible for them. I have to live with them. You're not going to come here and take care of me. You're not going to come here and fix my food or eat the food that I fix. Your opinion means very little to me. However, the law means very much to me. And so therefore I must speak for it, because I don't hear anybody else saying what needs to be said. And I know that some Republicans came up and they praised the Constitution, but you can't just praise the Constitution when people don't understand what's going on. You can't just praise the Supreme Court when people don't have the logic to know what's going on. We got mob justice in America. We got people ruling through puffing up other people with entitlement. We cannot be ruled by opinions. We cannot be ruled by people puffing us up with freedom to eat each other, freedom to commit whatever offenses we want to each other. We can't be ruled by being puffed up with entitlement while we're being robbed, while we're being drained dry. We all pay taxes. We all pay taxes. No matter if you don't work at all. You pay taxes because you go to the grocery store and buy something. Everyone pays taxes. And, pardon me, Pepsi. Whew. In a good nation, those taxes are returned to the people. They are spent on the people. They build infrastructure. They build social welfare programs, They employ people, They give a nation security, In an unjust nation, those funds are tossed around, and you don't really know what's going on with your tax dollars. All you know is that there are more and more billionaires getting wealthy while the rest of us go more broke. And in the old days, if someone was hoarding like corn or something while everybody else was hungry, that person would be hated, and that person might come under attack, and that person might lose their bins of corn to the masses because they were hungry. But not in today's world, because we don't have bins of corn sitting out, What we have is dollars. And what we have is dollars taken out of our vision, where we can't see that if some of these people laid out their wealth in the land, if they got some bins up, their bins would cover whole cities. if you could see what they were doing, you would understand that you are being taxed to make someone else rich. This is someone else's scheme, you know? And these people, they contract with the government and provide some kind of small opportunity for a handful of people. And for this, they're giving great wealth. And they have these charities, but the charities actually benefit them because then they have to pay less taxes, you know? And the charities only cover like a handful of people as well. It doesn't target the masses, you know? It's crazy. It's crazy. You're being robbed because you're allowing them to rule you by your opinion. There is so much more important that you should be discussing than whether someone should have to make a website for a homosexual couple. You know, there is so much more important to the nation that you pay no attention to because they keep us divided by ruling over us through our opinions. They tell us what to think, when to think, how to think, you know, and we don't step outside of their gates. We go like horses pulled by bits. We go where they pull us, you know, like dogs we follow. We're well trained, you know. We follow here, we follow there, but we don't understand. And this is a danger in mob justice. You put all your faith in somebody to lead you, but this somebody is not governed by law. This somebody has no obligation to take care of you, you know. But they come up and they share an opinion that you want to get behind. So you get behind them and you put someone in office that basically destroys every social safety net that there is. They want to sunset the program on Social Security, but yeah, we need them. We need them. Are you kidding me? They want to sunset the Social Security fund. They want to make it so that it's the funding for it is redetermined every so often. Do you know it used to be that the funding for Social Security, they had a surplus? They had way more money than they needed until 9/11 and the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and, you know, until all these wars, then we have no Social Security fund. They drained it on wars, fighting other people where they said there were weapons of mass destruction, and there were none. They wasted your money. It is expensive to be evil. It is very expensive to be evil because you think you have an enemy somewhere, but you ain't smart enough to think. And so you go waste all your money to attack someone who wasn't your enemy, who didn't have weapons of mass destruction. You take no responsibility for it. You keep on milking the people, but you keep swaying the people's opinions. It's dangerous to live this way. Don't live this way. You're killing yourself. You're bankrupting your own nation. You're making enemies out of people who should be allies. You know, you're doing everything wrong. Wrong. A good leader will tell you there has to be laws. We have to respect law. And that doesn't mean that you can't be gay. You want to be gay, go be gay, you know. But don't infringe on my right not to like you for being gay. I don't care if you're gay or not. You know, it's not my problem. I do have a problem when they try to convince my 10-year-old daughter that she wanted to be a boy, because it's manipulation that they do in schools. And that's not a conspiracy theory. I see how they like to suppress things with conspiracy theories, but no, they try to convince my 10-year-old daughter that she wanted to be a boy. My 10-year-old daughter, who loves makeup, always wears lipstick, sometimes wears eyeshadow. I got to tell her to wash this stuff off. She loves fashion. She wants to make clothes. She does girly things, you know. Don't send her home to me because you hear my opinion that says they don't have to like gays. And you think that, what, I'm a bigot? I'm not a bigot. I don't care. You can have your way. But everybody's got to have their way. And you have to respect the rights of others. So to fight against me, convince my 10-year-old daughter that she wants to be a boy. Have you met my daughter? She's been putting on lipstick to go to school since kindergarten. Are you kidding me? She wants to be a boy? Are you kidding me? You, you pick the wrong things to try to gaslight my kid with, to try and indoctrinate my kid with. You pick the wrong thing, because the evidence of your meddling is apparent when my 10-year-old comes to me and says, I want to be a boy. It's very apparent, because my girl is a girl through and through. She might be tough, mind you, but that doesn't mean she's a boy. I'm tough too. It doesn't mean that I'm a boy, you know? They're right when they say that the schools are meddling. They're not wrong. They're not wrong. People are using these things to undermine parental authority. They're using these things to cause trouble. And it's ridiculous. This is where you have to understand. You can't be ruled by these people who sway your opinion and tell you a narrative and cause problems all over. You know, they cause problems, and then they try to discredit the witnesses against them by claiming they're conspiracy theorists and whatever else have you. It's ridiculous. You can't live like that, you know? I'm telling you, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. This stuff happened to me, you know? I'm a witness, you know? But I'm telling you, the way to fix it is by a return to the law. The way to fix it is by not by just having the law and people ruling by decree over you, because that's not going to work either. We're not a people who can be ruled by a decree, in case you haven't noticed. We protest when the Supreme Court rules, you know, that everybody has rights, you know. But we need to be a people who understand law, who understand that these laws were given for our benefit, for our protection, so that we can live together in peace, so that there is unity within diversity, so that we understand that we can't suppress everyone's opinion about us, that we must learn to live with adversity, you know, that we got to be overcomers, you know, that we can't be spun up in this petty nonsense because we get distracted from things that really matter, you know, like our finances. We get distracted from things, and then what? We're broken, miserable, and looking for someone to blame, and so we're cutting down each other, you know? We're eating each other even more. Return to the law. Return to the law, because this is what the evil ones in the world don't like. Return to the law because it'll put limits on your behavior. No more mob justice nonsense. No more ruling through your opinions. Return to the law and be saved. You know, they say that in the end of time, you know, the Jews will be restored and people will come to them flocking to listen to Torah. But you know what? Torah is not for everybody. Not all parts of Torah are for everybody. Not all throughout the world. The Jews are one nation, okay? Out here, we are another nation. In America, we're another nation. We have a constitution. We have rights. We were established. We had wealth. We had a great nation. We pissed it all away by putting the wrong people in charge and being led away from the law. And the further we get from the law, the further we get from prosperity, the further we get from peace, the further we get from unity within diversity. Did I say that right? Yeah. Unity with diversity. You know? You can't be ruled by opinions. You got to be ruled by law. And if you're ruled by law, the law protects you. The evil one can't move you. He can't move you to fight against somebody who's different, because you can already say that person has a right to be who they are. You know? It's that simple. You can't be moved to play someone's victim because they don't support you, because you don't have the expectation that everybody has to endorse your sexuality. That person is entitled to their opinion. They have a right to have their own opinion. And so long as they're not coming over here and kicking me or undermining me in places of employment, you know, as long as they're not undermining me in being able to live, I can't say anything. Now, it's different between employment and service from a business. Do you understand this? Over here, we have a right to live, But over here, people have a right to their opinion. They have a right to build their business, their brand, to be secured in what they believe to be right. You start undermining people's constitution, their individual constitution, and you're going to have even more problems on your hand than you had before, because now you're stirring them to violence. Now they have something that they have to fight against. Leave them alone with their rights. They have nothing to fight against. They're entitled to be who they are. I'm just saying, you cannot suppress everything with opinions, You suppress it with the law. You don't have to follow Torah. Torah is wonderful. You should learn from it. You're not a Jew. It's okay. There's some things in there that will teach you about the world and teach you about order and teach you about how God interacts with us. But you don't want to, it's too confusing for you. They speak a lot of Hebrew when they're teaching, it's hard to get things, it's not easy for you to learn things. First of all, you might be subject to opinion, to manipulation, somebody ruling you by your opinion. When somebody rules you with manipulation, you can't learn new things, right? You can only learn what they want you to learn, and it's real important to know. They make you stupid when they rule over you this way, You return this way, and your eyes open. Your scales fall off your eyes. You get to see what is right and wrong, not according to opinion, but what's right and wrong according to what is your duty, your obligation. What is it that you have to do in the world to live in peace, to have unity within diversity? And there's your question there. So that's all I have to say for today, but I'm bummed. Y'all have a good day. God bless.